This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Right now, what we're seeing in Republican land, especially on Fox News and the Fox News networks, Fox Business as well, is a defense of Donald Trump that this is just free speech. Yeah, Donald Trump said, I need to find 7,000 or 11,780 votes. It's one more than we need because we won the state. We've heard him say that. And I'm going to play that in a minute, or maybe less than a minute, to refresh you on what all these clips that I'm getting ready to play are. But there's a move afoot right now to just say, oh, this was just free speech. He's the president of the United States of America speaking about this is against the law, what you're doing. You're violating the law. You're going to be held accountable. Leveling threats, sideways they might be, but leveling threats at the the Secretary of State of the state of Georgia, and then calling for these 11,780 votes, which are just one more than the need. Now, Republicans all across the spectrum, and especially on Fox News right now, are making this just a free speech issue. As though if you write a note at a bank and slide it across that says, give me all your money, or I would like all the money in the bank, that's just free speech. It's not a crime. Stupid. So I want to remind you, this is very brief. It's just like one or two sentences from Donald Trump, but I want to put on the table what it is we're talking about. And then after I play these Republicans, we're going to talk about something that cannot be justified that Donald Trump has said, calling for the DOJ to get involved and then leave the rest to us. But first, here's Donald Trump asking for votes that were not in his favor.
So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
So you remember that. Everybody remembers that. It was a shocking thing when we heard it, because it is a president of the United States just asking for election interference from a man who runs the elections in the state. Here's Judge Jeanine Pirro with her highfalutin legal acumen saying that this isn't saying I need these votes is different than saying I need you to get me these votes. It's all very stupid. Watch this.
The issue is not whether he wanted to overthrow it, but did he believe that he won? If he believed that he won, pursuing all these avenues are okay for him because in themselves, they are not illegal. If you say, look, I need to find 11,000 votes, that's very different from saying, I need you to find me 11,000 votes somewhere. He just knows he's behind by 11,700 votes. And finally, did he know he lost, and did he then pursue all these avenues? Or did he believe he won and was doing everything he can? It's going to be very hard to prove that.
Harold.
She's right. It is different because it's different words, but it's no worse. It is Donald Trump soliciting from the man who runs the elections in that state that he needs these extra votes to be found. It is the leader of the Republican Party telling a junior member, a subordinate member of the party, to do his bidding. Just because he used mafia speak doesn't make it illegal or doesn't make it legal. Here is Leo Terrell, another Fox News contributor goon, who's saying similar things about how this is just free speech.
But whether or not there's merit to these charges, for example, the DA claims that there's 161 overt act, like tweeting, like a phone call. So she has basically thrown the kitchen sink at Trump. I don't think the case has merit from a standard of the fact that Trump was basically articulating his right as president during the time and his First Amendment right.
As an American citizen.
There is nothing wrong. And an American citizen, there is nothing wrong with saying over the phone, hey, I need to find 11,000 votes. That's not criminal. That's just speech.
What did he say there? Trump is basically articulating his right. There's nothing wrong with saying I need 11,780 votes. That's not criminal. That's just speech, declares Leo Terrell from on high. It's not just commentators and goofs and anchors who are saying it on Fox News, though. We have a sitting United States Senator from Tennessee, Haggerty, who's basically saying the same thing. He's not saying the part about the 11,780 votes, but he is saying that I've listened to the more than 1 hour of the call, which, by the way, so have I, and there's nothing criminal there. He says, Trump asking Raffensperger not to do anything illegal, it's just talk. Watch this.
And I listened to the entirety of the conversation between President Trump and Raffensperger. It's on tape. Anybody can listen to it. It'll take the better part of an hour to do it. But what you see is President Trump talking with Raffensperger about, a lack of capacity to go in and investigate the many problems that existed. And President Trump was asking Raffensperger not to do anything illegal, but he was making the point that you don't need to investigate every area where there's a problem. You just need to investigate enough areas to demonstrate the fact that he won. Listen to that, and you will see that every one of these charges, I think, is very, very wrongly placed.
So in a U.S. Senator's mind, that's not asking the Secretary of State of Georgia to do anything illegal. But how about this? From the Georgia indictment, and this is a moment you've heard, and I'm going to play a clip of it from the man's mouth himself, but in the Georgia indictment, this is Section 5, solicitation of high-ranking United States Department of Justice officials. Members of the enterprise, meaning Donald Trump's criminal syndicate, members of the enterprise, including several of the defendants, corruptly solicited high-ranking United States Justice Department officials to make false statements to government officials in Fulton County, Georgia, including the governor, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and the President pro tem of the Senate. In one instance, Donald Trump stated to the acting United States Attorney General, just say, this is a quote, just say that the election was corrupt and leave the rest to me and the Republican congressman. So when you're hearing Donald Trump be defended by the litany of idiots who will defend almost anything, saying that's just free speech, this is the part they leave out. This is the part that they, I think, are going to be strained to justify and say this is just free speech. When the President of the United States of America, these people serving at the pleasure of Donald Trump could fire any one of them, and he's telling them, no, just say the election was corrupt when it wasn't corrupt, and leave the rest to me and the Republican congressmen like Andy Biggs and Mo Brooks and Matt Gaetz and Paul Gosar and the like. Just leave the rest to us. Yeah. Here is that exchange from the January 6th Select Committee where Adam Kinzinger is questioning Jeffrey Rosen, the same man who wrote these notes contemporaneously, either during or after the meeting, writing down exact quotes from the now ex-president. Watch this moment from the January 6th Select Committee hearings.
You also noted that Mr. Rosen said to Mr. Trump, quote, DOJ can't and won't snap its fingers and change the outcome of the election. How did the president respond to that, sir?
He responded very quickly and said, essentially, that's not what I'm asking you to do. What I'm just asking you to do is just say it was corrupt and leave the rest to me and the Republican congressman.
So let's now put up the notes where you quote the president. As you're speaking to that, he said, the president said, just say the election was corrupt and leave the rest to me and the Republican congressman. So, Mr. Donahue, that's a direct quote from President Trump, correct?
That's an exact quote from the president, yes.
The next note shows that even that the president kept pressing. Even though he'd been told that there was no evidence of fraud, did the president keep saying that the department was, quote, obligated to tell people that this was an illegal, corrupt election?
That's also an exact quote from the president, yes.
Let me just be clear. Did the department find any evidence to conclude that there was anything illegal or corrupt about the 2020 election?
There were isolated instances of fraud. None of them came close to calling into question the outcome of the election.
So is that just more free speech? Jeanine Pirro, Leo Terrell, Senator Haggerty, is that just more free speech from Donald Trump? It's not cajoling. It's not pressuring. It's not trying to draw into the criminal conspiracy a high-ranking member at the time, the acting deputy attorney general or the acting attorney general of the United States. That's fine too. That's okay. You'd be okay with Joe Biden losing in 2024, and rather than conceding, doing the honorable, legal, decent thing, you'd be okay with him pressuring Justice Department officials to claim the election was corrupt when it wasn't, so he could go to work with his criminal syndicate of Congress people to overturn the election. You'd be okay with that? Yeah, I don't think so. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail. 714-576-4054. Of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Follow me on social media if that's your thing. Sometimes it's my thing. I am at Dollemore everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, all of it, at Dollemore. I'd love to see you there. And if you appreciate what I do and you want to help support my work, help grow this channel, take part in this work, you can click the join button below, become a channel member for $1.99 a month. You can hit the super thanks button, or even better, you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine as always and take care of one another.